For example, when Rocky would never be made today. This never would have happened. It's over. Majority. The Godfather wouldn't be made today. I don't think it's going to ever have the golden era that it's had by far, because the audience, the demographic is different.
What if I told you that one simple conversation could bring Hollywood to its knees? That's exactly what happened when Sylvester Stallone agreed to CNN's Unity project. George Clooney lost it, the media went into meltdown, and suddenly everyone's dirty laundry was out for all to see. But here's what they don't want you to know. This isn't just about Clooney and Stallone. It's about a system that's so fragile, so scared of different opinions, that it's willing to eat its own. Want to know how deep this rabbit hole goes? Keep watching. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Now, I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again, but anytime that we address George Clooney and all the shenanigans surrounding him, we might as well call it Clooney Tune. But when you're looking at George Clooney, we know that he is basically in a desperate phase right now. He is panicking. He is trying to land several interviews to either apologize, and based on his behavior, we might as well call him Furious George, a little joke on Curious George.
You won't believe what's happening in Tinseltown, people. Hollywood's golden boy, George Clooney, just threw the mother of all tantrums. And why? Because he can't stand a little competition from Sylvester Stallone, the Italian stallion himself. Imagine this. CNN is preparing a heartwarming holiday special. Sounds wonderful, don't you think? Stars, smiles, and spreading joy. False. The entire situation caught fire before you could say Amal's designer handbag collection.
Share his side of the story when it comes to politics, and that's basically a move by him to win back a large portion of his audience. So George Clooney, we know that he has been pretty much in a downward spiral. We know that, of course, he is trying to really win back his audience that have just checked out. They want nothing to do with him anymore. And him attacking other celebrities either behind the scenes or in the public eye is not helping at all.
The juicy part is here. Clooney vehemently objected to Stallone sharing the stage. Is it not unbelievable? Sly is being referred to as a political opportunist, from someone who has dedicated his professional life to playing both sides of the argument rich. But hold on, things will improve.
Change their views on DEI and forced agendas. One significant development going on now involves more to do with George Clooney and, surprisingly, Sylvester Stallone. We know that many people want nothing to do with this actor anymore, and rightfully so, for valid reasons out there. Interestingly enough, we know that George Clooney pretty much is universally rejected, not just in the US, but across the entire globe.
Clooney is yelling behind the scenes about Stallone's allegedly outdated and dangerous beliefs. George, what's wrong? Are you worried that instead of repeating the same old Hollywood script, someone might actually say what they think?
Involves how The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon agreed to set up a deal between George Clooney and Sylvester Stallone to go on together as guests to share their political differences with the public. Refused to actually agree with the NBC producers to go on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, all because Sylvester Stallone would actually be present and sitting beside him. Clooney made it very clear to the NBC producers that he wanted nothing to do with Stallone. Shockingly, of course, Clooney and his team informed NBC.
The worst part is that Clooney is concerned about his priceless reputation being damaged. Boo-hoo. The multimillionaire who owns a villa in Italy fears some negative publicity. Let me rest. Is this a political issue, or is this just a pretty boy issue? George was simply afraid that Stallone's celebrity might surpass his own. Guess what, though? Clooney's little tantrum went horribly wrong. He is now the one who appears to be a true opportunist. Talk about putting yourself in a bad position when wearing designer clothing. His pious act is no longer convincing to the public. They are able to see through the smoke and mirrors of Hollywood.
This comes just weeks after Clooney has been, of course, desperately trying to land a series of interviews to share his side of the story about his role in politics. Of course, George, was unwilling to sit near Sylvester Stallone since he found him to be repulsive after endorsing one side of the country and its politics. It even got to a point where Stallone was welcoming Clooney with open arms, even after learning that Clooney had attacked him behind the scenes.
What about Stallone? He's leaving this with a wonderful scent. Sly is out there interacting with actual people, while Clooney is hiding behind his public relations team. Even if it upsets some designer feathers, he doesn't hesitate to voice his opinions. You won't believe what Stallone is planning, people. Clooney is busy having his little tantrum, but Sly is about to reveal something shocking that will rock Hollywood to its foundations. It's a full-fledged battle against the woke machine now, not just two actors trading blows. Oh no, Stallone isn't hiding in some opulent Italian villa. He is delivering his message to the public directly and in a fashionable manner. Do you recall when we believed that Rocky was his greatest success? Hold on tight, because Sly's most recent performance is amazing and can be heard on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's dropping truth bombs everywhere and revealing all that juicy Hollywood politics. But there's still more. Stallone isn't going to stop there. He has scheduled appearances on programs such as Gutfeld, demonstrating his willingness to take on challenging roles. Sly is out there interacting with actual people while the Hollywood elite is shuddering in their expensive boots. The fans are consuming it, I must say. Are you curious about the best part? Stallone is predicting a seismic shift in Tinseltown, so he's not just talking. He is criticizing Hollywood for its total disconnection from the audiences it is meant to cater to. Is it true that he said, if the industry wants to survive, it has to pivot away from agenda-driven narratives and return to its roots, telling stories that connect with everyone regardless of political affiliation? That is a nuclear bomb to the entire system, not just a mic drop. And you know what? People adore it. Support for Stallone is exploding on social media. His supporters are applauding him for having the courage to speak the truth and question the status quo. After turning 40, Clooney's public image is collapsing more quickly than a Hollywood starlet's career. The worst part is that Stallone is not fighting this battle alone. Other celebrities such as Jon Voight and Kevin Sorbo are following suit, adopting conservative stances and interacting with fans on different channels. It seems as though a brand new Hollywood is emerging right in front of the wealthy and powerful. The battle lines have been drawn, people, and Stallone is going all out. Clooney is busy having tantrums, but Sly is getting his point across to the public. On Joe Rogan's podcast, he discusses how Hollywood has lost touch with everyday people like you and me. These days, it's about who gets to dictate the story, not just about movies. Stallone has a plan and isn't going to back down. He is planning additional appearances and is prepared to reveal shocking information at every opportunity. Clooney is hiding in his opulent Italian villa in the meantime, presumably out of concern for his priceless reputation. The worst part is that more people are realizing the truth the more Clooney attempts to keep Stallone quiet. Folks, this isn't just a celebrity feud. Tinseltown is on the verge of a full-scale revolution. Are you prepared for a Hollywood that genuinely pays attention to its viewers? Yes, Stallone is, and he's at the forefront. Will the rest of Hollywood follow suit, or will they continue to advance their outdated agendas? This show is just getting started, so stay tuned.